You see it on the TV. No, I know you do. And by the way, that's why I'm not sedentary. I get up and no, let him go. Let him go. Look, the reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape line, let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Let's take the 19 steps. Number two. No one has said my son has done anything wrong, and I did not on any occasion. And no one has ever said it. Not
I
one.
didn't say you were doing anything wrong.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
That's what I hear on MSNBC.
You don't hear that on MSNBC. You did not hear that at all. What you heard, look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, yeah, you do, but look, Fat, look, here's the deal.
5 years later.
Okay, let's go. That's a fit boy.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Joe Biden got exactly what he asked for a few years ago when defending himself against allegations of sketchy behavior with his son and his business dealings in Ukraine, which turned out to be true, right? Turned out to be true. He challenged the guy, okay, the guy that was confronting him, to a push-up contest. Called the guy fat, right? Lo and behold, just a few years later, Joe Biden would have RFK challenge him for the Democrat presidential nomination. And it seems like RFK is probably the most jacked presidential candidate that we've ever seen, okay? Maybe besides Teddy Roosevelt, okay? Who I was not alive back then to see Teddy Roosevelt's physique. But apparently this guy, who's my favorite president, by the way, he was a monster, okay? I mean, he was into boxing, okay? Allegedly, he was into bare knuckle boxing. I'm not sure if that's actually true. He was into grappling and sports. He got shot while giving a speech, okay? And he kept giving a speech, right? Again, this guy, Teddy Roosevelt, was the top G before top G became a term that I guess was coined by Andrew Tate, okay? I mean, I think that Teddy Roosevelt, if he was alive today, he would have been canceled, right? He would have been canceled for being too masculine, okay? He's too out there, okay, for, you know, the mainstream liberal media, okay? He definitely would have got canceled. But we have RFK, who, again, apparently is jacked as well, okay? I didn't know that RFK was this jacked, but again, this guy he's in pretty good shape for what? I think he's 69 years old. He's almost 70 years old, right? This is what Biden asked for, right? This is what he asked for. He's like, look, you can't debate me because you're fat. That's what he told the average dude, right? You're fat. You're too sedimentary, okay? He got exactly what he wanted, right? He got RFK, who's benching what appears to be probably, what, 115 or something like that? Incline. Now, some people may say 115 is not that much, but again, for a 69-year-old man, I think it's pretty good, right? I think it's pretty good. I think the guy looks like he's in amazing shape. Now, there may be some drugs involved, okay? There's no doubt that there's probably some performance enhancers. But I think, at the very least, what it is that it's RFK walking the walk, okay? I mean, they say that the guy's an anti-vaxxer. He's against Big Pharma, right? And, you know, this comes as there is a discussion around health, okay? Health in this country. Who are we going to listen to, right? We're going to listen to the fat, drugged up medical community, okay? The people like Peter Hotez lecturing people on health and fitness when they're not necessarily in the best shape. Or we're going to listen to somebody like RFK who's in great shape. That's the debate, right? That's the debate. So with that being said, RFK posted his video and then basically said that he's getting in shape for his debates with President Biden, right? If he actually does debate Biden, because the DNC apparently doesn't want any debates. But let's read here, because it seems like he's challenging Biden to a debate, which I find to be hilarious, because again, Biden asked for this, okay? He made fun of people based off their size. Say you're fat, you're not in shape, you're too sedimentary to debate me. about my son and his business dealings in Ukraine. Again, I just find it hilarious. So let's read about this. As president, I will restore America as the global example of health and well-being, not through pills or syringes, but through character and self-discipline. And I will continue to walk the walk and lead by example. I mean, he kind of is. I mean, he is walking the walk. He is leading by example by saying, look, you know, I understand what it takes to have a country that's fit and healthy. Okay, I understand the activities and the behaviors that we should be encouraging, and I'm a living embodiment of that, right? And I gotta respect it. I'm not saying that being in shape should necessarily be a requirement to be president, but at the very least, it does show some qualities, like, for example, self-discipline, okay, which is extremely difficult, right? It's extremely difficult to be that disciplined at his age, okay? So you got to give him credit for that. At the very least, it does show discipline. Now, again, I don't necessarily agree with RFK and a lot of his stuff, like the environmental stuff. You know, I don't agree with him. He said some controversial things. I think he said people who don't believe in climate change should be thrown in jail or something like that a long time ago. I hope he still doesn't have those opinions. But again, there are some things he says I don't necessarily agree with. Okay, so I don't want people to think that I'm endorsing him. I'm just giving commentary on Biden versus RFK. Okay, if it came down to Trump versus RFK, I'm going with Trump. In fact, I mean, Trump even came out and said how much he liked RFK. He said RFK is a common sense guy. Take a look.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to ask you one last question here. I know you got to run. Bobby Kennedy, he's a Democrat from the first family, they used to call it, and he's taking almost as much heat as you are from fake news. What would you tell Bobby Kennedy?
Just hang in. I mean, they go after. He's been very nice to me. I've actually had a very nice relationship with him over the years. He's a very smart guy and a good guy. He said Trump's the greatest debater, and you can't just not debating going against Trump. I was very honored by the fact that he said that. I'm glad he feels that. But he's a very good man, and his heart is in the right place, and he's doing really well. I suppose he's at 22. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Doing very well.
So have you talked to him lately?
No, I haven't. I would, but I haven't. You know, there's a lot of things. You know, he's a common sense guy, and so am I. So whether you're conservative or liberal, common sense is common sense, and a lot of what I run on is common sense. You know, we need a wall, and we built most of it, but they didn't want to finish up the extra area. I wanted to do more. After we got it built, I wanted to do more. But without that, we had the best numbers in the border, as you know, because you've said it many times. We had the best numbers in history.
Yeah.
And now we have the worst numbers, I think, of any country ever in the world. Okay.
Well,
no country would allow this.
Mr. President, I know you got to run, so we welcome you back.
Now, would I vote for RFK over Trump, Ron DeSantis, or Vivek Ramaswamy, who are my top three, okay, in the Republican GOP? Absolutely not. Hell no. Right? Never. Okay, but again, I kind of respect what the guy is pushing here in regards to what he's calling out in regards to the health and fitness of this country, because this country's in terrible shape, okay? He's saying Americans gained an average of 29 pounds during the lockdowns. I will help turn this around by encouraging our citizens to exercise, eat well, and to fortify their immune systems by removing harmful chemicals from our food. Ding, 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 ding. This is what the government should have been telling us during the pandemic, okay? Because, you know, if you were obese, then, hey, you most likely were going to face more issues dealing with COVID, okay? If you're obese, which is something they didn't talk about enough. But they told obese people that, hey, if you get the vaccine, you know, you can help minimize your risk. Instead of telling obese people that, hey, you need to lose some weight so that you can overcome other diseases as well, too. So you can become less of a risk to get other diseases that go along with obesity. But no. The government actually told us to do the exact opposite. They told us to lock down, don't go to the gym, right? Stay inside all day and eat snacks, okay? And wait for the pandemic to magically be over. And that's not what they should have been saying. They should have been telling people, hey, go outside, get sunlight, go to the gym, get in shape, right? Improve your general health and fitness. That's what they should have been telling people. In fact, that's what I did during the pandemic. Okay, most people got bigger during the pandemic. I actually got the best shape of my life when the pandemic first happened. Okay, because I was forced to go outside and to do stuff, right? If I wanted to do anything. Pretty amazing how that works. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think what Robert F. Kennedy is talking about here is something we definitely don't talk about enough. Conversely, we must never allow ourselves to succumb to fear. Fear disables both the immune system and the capacity for critical thought, which is key to the survival of democracy. We'll restore our health as we reunite our communities and rebuild our nations. So start doing your morning calisthenics, everybody. Get yourself in shape for Kennedy presidency. Kudos to Elon Musk plus Mark Zuckerberg for setting a physical fitness example for Americans with their Octagon challenge. Elon versus Zuck at Dana White. And yes, I can do more than 10 push-ups. That was my last set. Right? So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think Elon got to get in a lot better shape to get to Bobby Kennedy's level. But, I don't see anything wrong with what he said, okay? I definitely think that as Americans, we have to take our physical fitness more seriously because it will benefit society as a whole, okay? The more physically fit we are as a society, then that's just better for everybody, okay? It lowers the cost of healthcare. People don't have to go to the hospital or see the doctors much for things related to obesity and, health, other things that, again, are preventable just based off lifestyle stuff. I think that Robert F. Kennedy is promoting a very good thing here, okay? And it is a breath of fresh air to see that. I got to give the guy credit where credit is due when he does things that I agree with, even though there's a lot of things I disagree with. But with that being said, let's talk about some of the polls, okay? Because the polls are showing that people are really liking Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in regards to favorability, but not necessarily is helping out his polls too much here in terms of when it comes to whether or not people would actually pick him over Biden to be president. So let's read here. A recent poll with good news for Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. raises questions about whether President Joe Biden should be worried about his re-election chances. Last Wednesday, The Economist and YouGov released a survey that showed Kennedy with the highest favorability rating of all the current 2024 presidential candidates. 49% of respondents said they saw him favorably and 30% viewed him unfavorably. Biden and former President Donald Trump had the second highest favorability rating, with 44% of respondents saying they viewed the two candidates favorably. Kennedy, an anti-vaccine activist, environmental lawyer, and member of a famous political dynasty, has been viewed as a long-shot challenger to Biden, who is expected to benefit from an easy series of primaries as the sitting president, aka the DNC, right, trying to rig things in his favor, okay, by not having debates, okay, and stuff like that. Yeah, he's going to benefit from that, right? Because, again, if the mainstream liberal media and the DNC and the establishment wasn't so against Robert F. Kennedy, I think he would be doing a lot better than he is right now. Some have interpreted the latest survey as suggesting that Kennedy is leading Biden in the polls, but favorability ratings don't necessarily forecast who will get the party nomination. One of the reasons that Kennedy may be seen more favorably is his name, political scientist John Pitney told Newsweek. Now, I don't think it's that. I just think that people are tired of Biden, right? People are tired of Biden, and, Robert F. Kennedy, he's saying some things I think, a lot of people kind of agree with to a certain extent. Okay, he's coming at it from an anti-establishment perspective. Quote, at this point, most voters aren't even thinking about the next presidential election. If you're a Democrat and you hear the name Kennedy, you say, I'm for that, Pitney said. As the election gets closer, people will think a little more about the actual choices between them. Yeah, and I think that if you are a sane person and you're in a Democrat primary and you have to vote between Joe Biden, what we have now, and Robert F. Kennedy, I'm probably going Robert F. Kennedy before I go with Joe Biden, right? I'm just saying. While the polls have shown Kennedy with a sizable double-digit support among Democrats, he still trails Biden by a significant amount. Two surveys released last week by the Harvard University Center for American Political Studies and The Messenger show Biden with a 62% support to Kennedy's 15% and 54% to 14%, respectively. Biden also has a real clear politics average of 62 percentage points as of Monday. Comparably, the polling data aggregator shows Kennedy with a 15.6 point average. All right, so yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This is happening as Robert Kennedy is currently being censored, right? He's been censored by the establishment, the liberal media, the DNC, in regards to being able to be heard and to be spoken, okay? YouTube basically deletes most videos of Robert F. Kennedy when he's talking about the vaccine. So the guy is definitely behind the eight ball here. right? But the fact that he's performing so well, despite the censorship, really kind of does show you how much Democrats aren't that comfortable with Biden. At least Democrat voters aren't that comfortable with Biden as president. So we'll see what happens. But, you know, Jacked RFK pushing health and fitness the old-fashioned way, I don't think is a bad thing. And I think it's something that is very much needed in our American political debate. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.